What's up? And welcome back to Opposites Track Podcast. This is Sonia Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How was your day?
How was your week?
How was your life?
Going. Look at that. I got all kinds of shit going at the same time. Knocking stuff over. Setting the timer. Cracking some drinks. But before we do anything else, make sure you guys go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. When you guys do that, you'll see all the ways that you can support the show. Like we said before, the best thing that you guys could do to help us out is to like, to comment, to share, subscribe, share this with somebody that you know. Check out our brand new Clips channel that we still need to get our subscribers to subscribe to that channel. So if you guys haven't done that yet, go on YouTube and look for Opposites Attract Podcast Clips. It looks like the logo looks just like the logo that you've always seen, except that it's got like a little red border around it and it says Clips across it. Like and subscribe. And then you can share some of those videos with people because those have the clips have some short videos, just short segments from the podcast. But yeah, wherever you can, like, subscribe, comment, it really helps us out.
Yes, yes.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy gobble, gobble. That's what I'm going to do this weekend.
I know, that's what you're going to do this weekend. God damn, babe, for real?
Hey, you should know me by now. Talking about Thanksgiving. What am I going to...
Gobble,
First thing,
gobble.
Gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble.
Got the gobbler over here.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Oh, my God. That's how we're starting.
Yes,
Hey,
gobble,
this is
gobble.
Good.
Is it?
Yeah, we got these from our friend Kayla. Mango chili.
Kayla.
I remember the first time. It's a Smirnoff Ice chili pack thing. Not sponsored, but at first I had one on Halloween, and I was like, "Ooh, this is good." And then I was like, "There's no way."
Too good.
And then when I looked at it, I was like, "Oh, this has all kinds of sugar in it."
That's why.
That's why it's so damn
good. Yes.
But it's all good. Gobble,
I
gobble. Back to
want to-
gobble, gobble.
Yes. Well, Thanksgiving, right? Just being grateful.
I'm grateful for you, babe.
I'm grateful for you as well. There's so much to be grateful for. This past couple of days, I went to visit our friend Bill Soroka.
Yeah.
Very good friend of ours. And listening to his story and remembering his story, though. 26 failed businesses.
Yeah.
And I don't like to say fail because there's so much that he learned from that. And he's living and stepping into his purpose and really what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And I've been able to witness that and his growth, and he has helped me tremendously in so many ways. Like, I'm so grateful to be surrounded by such amazing, beautiful, driven, supportive friends.
Yeah.
You know, Eric Vogt, he was here.
Yeah, he was here yesterday recording the 3rd episode of Fighting for Your Life, which is going to be coming out soon, so you guys can look for that.
Such a beautiful man, him and his wife, just always clapping. When you surround yourself with people that are clapping when you're winning and support you when you're not,
Yeah.
they breathe life into you. It's just different.
Yeah. They're those people with that type of mentality that we talked about a couple episodes ago, where it's not like our success takes away from their success. I mean, even the way they see it is, if we have success, it's more success for them. Like like we're all having success together.
Yeah.
Even though it's not their success personally.
It's like
but
we're
they
all
feel
winning
it, right?
together.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like if our friend wins, like on the Fighting Podcast, we were talking about Eric's new business. He's building a recovery business right next to one of our friends' jiu-jitsu gyms. And it's like, when that thing takes off and blows up, it's like, we're going to be super happy for him and for everything that they have going on.
Right.
You know?
And it's always like, how can we support you?
Yeah.
Right? Like Bill was like, let me know how I can support you. And then after meeting with Bill Soroka, I went and met with some other good friends, Judy and Eric Thornson and Joan Claire and Christina, who I met in India. who was there for me when I was going through a very challenging time in India.
Yeah.
And seeing her again, and it's been a bit since February, and reconnecting and just sharing our lives and what we've been up to and where we're going, and just so excited for everyone that was there.
Yeah.
And that being a mutual feeling. I was watching our interview today with BNS.
Oh, were you?
Yes.
A few months ago, yeah.
And hearing his excitement about your new podcast, he doesn't even know that you started it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this BNS he lives in India, and he is
a huge YouTuber in India.
Yes, like millions.
I mean, he's got
like
half
he
a
has
million.
a million.
No.
Now?
I think he has
that
like half
when we met him, when we had him on our podcast, he had 500,000.
Yeah.
Who knows where he's at today?
And he's got a few channels, not just one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And listening to his excitement when we were sharing what we were doing.
Yeah.
And his support. It's just living in that state of gratitude. And how do you get there? Right? Like maybe some of our listeners are thinking like, well, how do you get there when you're at a place where you're not excited for where you are right now? Like where does that gratitude come from?
Yeah. Well, I think part
for
of it.
you, where does it come from?
I think the gratitude, man, it's having that contrast in life. It's like knowing the hard things that you've been through and appreciating that, because even the hard things you learn from. But yeah, there's challenges now, but we've been through challenges before, and being grateful for the challenges that we've overcome and the challenges that we're going to have to grow through.
Self-reflecting is definitely
being
important,
mindful.
because I have and continue to like play our life back as a movie. And it's so amazing how it unfolds, right? Like the challenges that we had at the very beginning of our marriage, and the challenges that we went through with the kids, and seeing the strength that it gave us, that we've learned, like the patience, just going through parenting itself and looking back at the mistakes that we made and course correcting, and seeing where we are today with our parenting and how our relationship has blossomed, not only between you and I, but between the kids and our other kids, our nephews, and, our niece, and, like Michaela, like the struggle. We talked about the struggle that we went through with, that, and just, yeah.
Yeah. A second ago, you were talking about, Bill, he's a business owner, right? And you said that he had like 26 failed businesses. And right before we started the podcast, I had one of my cousins send me a reel on Instagram, and it was hilarious. It's this guy, he's doing a business talk at some conference or whatever. And he said, becoming successful as an entrepreneur is like being pregnant. He's like, everybody comes up to you and says congratulations, but has no idea how many times you got fucked.
Really? Okay. That's funny.
But I don't think it's that extreme all the time. But I thought
I'm like, oh my goodness.
I thought it was kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, and even like all those times that you get screwed is like, you learn from those situations.
Yeah.
I
feel with you, the relationship that you had before me was,
you're grateful for my horrible relationship. Yeah.
Right? Like Yeah. And I feel that me coming into your life, it helped you to and share. I mean, you can share, but I feel that it helped you to see or to be grateful to have a woman that was not as crazy. No.
As crazy? What is that? The hot crazy matrix? If you guys haven't seen that video on YouTube, look up the hot crazy matrix on YouTube. That video is freaking hilarious. It's this dude with a whiteboard and he's explaining the correlation between how hot a girl is and how crazy she is. You remember that? Oh my God. It was so funny. But yes, funny. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
But no, I feel like, grateful for that because I got a different part of you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, you learn from every experience. And I did have to learn from that one, And I am grateful for, certain parts of it because it did change me when it came to our relationship,
That's why when you look back and you see everything that, you've been through, you learn from that. That's why they say it's not the destination, right? It's not, it's not about getting to a destination, like a certain destination.
Yeah.
What's important is the journey. They say like when you pass, like you were born, right? Like 77, you pass away, whatever. The dash in between when you were born
and when you
died.
That's what's important.
Is the dash in between.
Yeah.
How you spent your life, what you did.
Yeah. And another thing, when it comes to being grateful, or maybe not just being grateful, but when you're in a situation that's not favorable, something that happens to you that you don't want, or things that don't go your way, sometimes it's tough to be grateful or to find something to be grateful for in that situation. And there's a video on YouTube from Jocko Willink, and it's called Good. And you've seen it. We've seen it a bunch of times. And that one kind of reminds me because whenever something bad is happening, he talks about, the video is about one of his guys. He's a Navy SEAL commander that comes to him when he's having a problem. And he's like, what should I do? And then before Jocko could even answer, he's like, I already know what you're going to say. He's like, you're going to say good. He's like, yeah, that is what I'm going to say. He's like, why do you always say that when things aren't good? And it's like, because you have an opportunity to get better. If you didn't get the thing that you were wanting, well, now you have more time to train. Now you have more time to learn. Like there's always opportunities that come even when you have setbacks,
Right.
And those are things to be grateful for.
I was talking to Joey today. He was sitting at the table. Audrey was doing her homework, and he comes and he brings his notebook and he lays it down. And he is, and I'm so grateful that he is proud of himself.
Yeah.
For the work that he's doing.
Finally. Oh my God. Because before it was like, I'm stupid. I'm dumb. I'll never get it.
Mm-hmm. And I talked to him. I said, how does it feel to understand what you're doing? And I told him, once you made the decision just to give in, that's when things started to make sense. He said, yes. I said, resistance makes it that much more difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure does.
But seeing him and where he's at, and Audrey, it's so funny. She's like, Mom, she's like, do you remember? She's like, the same thing happened to me in 6th grade. And it was 6th grade where she made the decision.
Yeah.
That she was going to start taking care of business.
Yeah. And like we've said, boys mature a little bit it takes them a little bit longer.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I mean, one thing I was just kind of thinking, one thing that I'm really grateful for, and it's weird because it's different, but like I'm grateful for like my life, like the way I've grown up and the experiences that I've had throughout my life. And just kind of thinking about how I grew up and where I grew up, and you too. I mean, you didn't grow up the way our kids are growing up. And when I think about it, it seems like growing up kind of the way we grew up prepares you a little bit more, I think, for the world. Maybe because the internet wasn't so huge when we grew up. Maybe because we had, single parents. Maybe because there wasn't as much money as we have right now, Not that we have a lot, but, still.
Yeah.
Like we didn't live in a neighborhood the way we live, like the one that we live in now. And having to grow up in some rough stuff and rough situations. And it's like in a place where you have to grow up quicker, right? It kind of prepared us for life. And I'm grateful for that. But I'm also grateful that our kids don't have to grow up the way we grew up.
Which means we have to challenge them in
different ways.
Exactly.
But yeah, and like we've talked about in the past, this has been, we haven't mentioned it in a while, but one of our big focuses when the kids, especially when they were younger, now they're getting to a point where they're getting bigger. They're kind of hitting that in between, being kids. Audrey's already kind of like between, she's like a little lady, and Joey's turning into a little man, They're not little anymore. Now we have to kind of start introducing them to like the more grown up stuff and like teaching them about some of the stuff that they're going to have to deal with as an adult. But for the longest time, it was, let's keep them young. Yes. Like don't give them more than they can handle.
Right.
Like let them enjoy being kids.
Yes.
And how many kids today, what's one thing that will snatch a kid's freaking childhood away? A cell phone.
Oh,
immediately.
Sure.
A cell phone will snatch your kid's childhood. Like their innocence, their childhood, it'll take it.
Yes. Because they can look up whatever. Yes. And kids are so curious. They're very curious. So, yeah. I was looking up just what are some things that we all can do to be in that state of gratitude. And the first step is notice good things, look for them, and appreciate them. Is that me or you?
That was me because I was playing music and the phone was on.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, wait a minute, I thought mine. Okay, so yeah, so number one, look for good things. Look for them, appreciate them, and really sit and meditate in them or pray in them. Don't let it just be in your head. Don't just think about it. Allow yourself to connect your thought to the feelings of whatever that may be for you. For, like with us and our relationship, I'm so grateful for us, like you said. And when I say these things and when I'm meditating, or like I have a picture of us when we got married, in lighting the unity candle.
Yeah.
And even if we're having a disagreement or something is going on, I sit in and meditate. And instead of getting upset or angry, I go within and remember, like who we are, like together, like who we are, and not allowing that disagreement to mess up the rest of the day or whatever it is, and sitting in gratitude. And, I have in my document, like I am in love, with Miguel Ramirez, here to support him and love him, in all that he does. And he is my king and I am his queen, and together anything is possible. And sitting in that and thinking it, but more so feeling it within my soul.
Yeah.
And just breathing in and breathing out. And then playing back all the things that we've done together.
Seems like it would be pretty easy to be grateful if you're putting yourself in that state of mind.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
And that's with everything, even parenting. You know, you can go there with parenting. You can go there with finances. You can get up and be having just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Maybe you had a dream and that dream rocked you and you woke up feeling a certain way. To get in that space of stillness, to meditate, to pray, and just sit and breathe and think that you woke up this morning. You woke up this morning and someone did not.
Oh.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Like getting just...
Well, for anybody that's listening to this, there's some serious things happening around the world. Mm-hmm. And if you're listening to this from the United States, we can be pretty grateful that we live where we live.
Yes.
And that things are still the way they are here.
Yes. 100%.
Because in other parts of the world, Thanksgiving is going to be rough.
Yes. So what can you do to help someone else? What can you do to be a blessing to someone else? And that's another thing that will turn that frown upside down, is serving, doing something for someone else in need, whether it's volunteering or even just going to the store and seeing someone who is in need of help and being of service.
Yeah. And if you don't have money to donate, your attitude could change somebody's day. Mm-hmm. Just giving somebody a compliment. Hey, you have a beautiful smile. Hey, you have a great personality. Yes. You have beautiful eyes. Like whatever. Like just a compliment and keep it moving.
Acknowledging.
Yeah.
Yes. Acknowledgement. I don't do it just I acknowledge you.
Yeah.
Right? Like I acknowledge the kids. I make that part of who I am. Like if I see, just a stranger.
Yeah.
I did it today at the grocery store. I was with Randy and I allow me to do these things. I am who I am. So whether you're with me or not, whether it embarrasses you or not, that's on you.
Yeah.
But our cashier, young girl, never seen her before. And I asked her, I said, wow, I'm like, you are pretty fast at this. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, you're new, right? Because I haven't seen her there. And she's like, yeah, I've been here for maybe going on 2 months. And I'm like, wow, you're pretty good at this. She's like, thank you. And the person behind her, he has been there for a while, and he heard this compliment, and he smiled, just acknowledging her. And then the bagger as well, acknowledging her, and she was deaf. And I wasn't aware of that yet, right? Randy behind me
noticed
when we walked away, because I talk with my hands anyways, and my smile says it all anyway, right? And she was, just really aware of what she was doing. She knew what she was doing, and she did it with a smile, both of them. And I acknowledged the bagger as well. Yeah. And when we walked away, Randy's the one who it had, I guess, on her name tag that she was deaf. I didn't know.
That's crazy. Like when you meet people like that, it's hard to accept excuses or whatever, from other people. It reminds you of other people that make excuses for the shit that's going on. But then you have other people that have legit excuses and don't let them slow them down. Don't let that become, it's an obstacle, but they overcome them. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. They don't use that as an excuse
to not do something.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of of our friend from jiu-jitsu. It's like I'll just be the blind guy that does this.
Right.
Dude wants to shoot like a skating video now. I'm like, let's do it,
Yeah.
He's like, I've been practicing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think, really grateful for the people that we have in our life. We definitely have some really good friends and family that, that always support us, want us to win.
I mean, our friend Kayla who provided us your alcohol. No. She's amazing.
Yeah. Yep.
She's a client of mine, but she's a friend. Like
Yes.
she's a friend. And
She made my fight shorts.
She's amazing. Like this woman can do just about anything. Anything. When I left to India, I have this desk that I've had before Miguel and I got together. So it's about
20 years old.
Yes, about
Almost 20 probably.
20 years old, and it was beat up, right? The kids, after Miguel coming in and the kids, forget about it. It just, no.
They got marker all over it.
Just everything all over it. And when I was gone for India, she told me, that she was going to refurbish it and this and that. But yeah, she ended up picking it up when I was gone in India, and she completely refurbished it.
Yeah.
Completely. And where the keyboard is, there's this little lip that flips up. And it made me I got emotional. But there's a message from Miguel and from Audrey and from Joey.
It's like scribed
And there's
into the
so
desk.
much thought that she put into it. You
Yeah.
can tell like she just put her heart and soul into her work, and I'm looking at it right now. So and I'm so grateful, like just the little, the effort.
Yeah. What is maybe sometimes when things are happening or you're going through a situation, maybe you're in a shitty mood or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. It's not that easy to be grateful because you're in that negative mind state or that funk.
Yeah.
What do you do to kind of get yourself out of that, to kind of change your mindset?
A lot of times I go in because there's something that created that emotion that I'm feeling. And so I question the emotion. Where is this coming from? Was there a thought attached to that emotion? I go through this entire process. Is there a belief?
Okay.
Did this come from something I was told as a child, or, what's going on? And I did that yesterday with you, right? It's not,
Yeah.
I mean, I was gone all day. I spoke with you at 1:00.
Yeah.
Didn't hear from you.
And I was busy all day.
And I knew that, but I'm like, there was something going on within me. And it was making me feel a certain way. So I went within to question that. An answer came up. I questioned that. And I also expressed to you how I was feeling.
Yeah.
As well. I didn't keep it bottled up. I didn't come at you.
Yeah, and then we talked about it for a minute.
And I realized that it was something that I created.
And then you were good.
And then I was good, wasn't I?
Yeah. Then you can go back to being grateful.
Right. Because and what I did during that time is I'm like, he loves me.
Yeah.
Like, I know you love me just because you didn't call me or check in on me.
Yeah.
Right. And then I start thinking about our relationship. and poof, it's gone. Just like it's just taking myself through that. I expressed it to you. I didn't have to express it to you, but because of where you are and where I am, I didn't think you would lash out or feel a
or like
certain
snap
way.
on you.
Yeah. Right?
We're just going to talk about it.
So I released it. I spoke to you about it.
So what happens when you don't have somebody? Like if you feel like maybe you can't, or if it was me before where I'll just get mad, then do you just keep it bottled up?
No.
Or do you say something and then we fight?
That's hard for me because I wasn't who I was back then either, babe.
Yeah.
Like I fucking...
But I'm just saying, like, then, I don't know, maybe then you bottle it up, or I don't know.
In that situation, if you were the old you and I am who I am today...
Oh, you probably would have said something. I would have said something back. Maybe.
Yeah. If I am who I am today and you were who you were back then...
Yeah.
I would go within.
And just leave it at that.
And because of the love that I hold for you, I would do what I did.
Yeah,
Love
I think
you,
it would be tough.
Right? Because I loved you. Like I loved you through that.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
I loved you through being an asshole. I loved you through being impatient. I loved you through being temperamental. I loved you through, right? So I would do what I did and just meditate and go within because I know who I am today and just be that loving wife because that would put out the fire. That would put out anything that's going on within you.
Yeah. I think when I go through situations like that, I don't think about it all the time because I think a lot of times my first thought is, what do I have to do? You know, like, what do I do to change whatever it is that's happening right now that I don't like, that I don't want, whatever this situation is, right? I might be frustrated for a second or for a little bit, and then I'm like, all right, so now what? But maybe after you start figuring out, or once I start figuring out the plan of how to recover from whatever's happening, how to address whatever's going on, it's like, well, what good is there in this? Like, this sucks. I'm being audited by the government or some shit. Mm-hmm. But it's like, what good can come out of this? You know what? Maybe I can develop a relationship with them. That way they know me and it's a familiar face. Mm-hmm. And when we deal with each other, it doesn't have to be a difficult thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So maybe that, and you know what? That is actually what happened. Mm-hmm. But that's something that you can be grateful about, even in a shitty situation.
Yeah. It's hard to speak about all situations because every situation is different. But right? Every relationship is different. Every person is different.
But I think almost all situations you can try to find some good in it. Right. You know, I mean, people say it all, even when you have somebody that you love that is near the end of their life, sometimes they suffer so much and they pass away. And maybe the thing to be thankful for is that they're no longer suffering.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's a great example. It's a great, yes.
Yep. So make sure you guys go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. When you guys go to our website, you'll see all the ways that you can support the show and follow the show there. When you go to the top of the website, it has all of our social media links. You can find us at Opposite Pod on all the different social medias, or you can just search Opposites Attract Podcast and we'll come up. Like I said before, if you guys can follow the Opposites Attract Podcast Clips channel on YouTube, that'll really help us out. It's the brand new channel that we're releasing all the clips on. And if you also want to support us a different way, you can click on the Support the Show tab on the website. That'll take you to our Amazon link. Anything that you purchase through that link, Black Friday's coming up. You can do your holiday shopping for Christmas and all that. And if you do that through our link, it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps out the show. We get a little kickback every time you use our link to buy stuff on Amazon. And another way that you can help us out is?
You can go to buymeacoffee.com/oppositepod and buy us a virtual drink. And you can subscribe to that on a monthly basis as well.
Yep.
So again, that's opposite. It's www.buymeacoffee.com/opposite-pod.
What's this one? Spicy margarita.
You're
Let's see.
thirsty.
A little bit.
You're thirsty.
So, what's up, babe?
So did I get something in the mail today? Did I get something from Amazon today?
Yeah. No, you didn't get anything. I got something.
What? I thought it was for us.
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe.
It's a surprise.
What?
It'll be like it's both of ours. We'll just keep it at my house.
Your house.
That's from Friday. That's from Debo when he's stealing the bicycles.
It'll be in your drawer.
We'll just keep it in my drawer.
What about me? What about me?
What are you talking about? You got a fucking treasure chest upstairs full of shit. Oh,
I am
God.
excited
Yeah?
to have you all to myself.
Yeah. Got a little bit. We'll be going to Georgia soon.
Mm-hmm.
Go hang out with some friends and spend some alone time. A little short vacation, just the two of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll be hearing a lot about that later on.
In the
You're
next
going to be seeing a lot of
couple
your
episodes.
friends. How do you feel about that?
I'm excited. I'm excited to go see, to see my friends. I've mentioned, I don't know if I have mentioned it on this podcast, but we're going to go meet up with some friends of mine from my childhood, like from New York. And when
How young?
I mean, all these friends are probably from about 5-6 years old.
5 or 6 years. I was saying 5th grade.
No,
Five
five
Wow.
or 6, like kindergarten, 1st, 2nd grade.
Dude, that's nuts.
Yeah.
That is so insane.
So I'll say like, I mean, if you guys can imagine growing up in New York City, we have the giant apartment buildings, maybe 20 apartments on each floor, 25 apartments on each floor. You have my grandmother's building had 6 floors and the lobby. And my grandmother lived on the 5th floor. Mm-hmm. And every day when we're like 5 or 6, well, in my grandmother's building, which is pretty much like where I grew up, she had a couple doors down from her. There was another kid that when he was in kindergarten or whatever, him or his mom, like when he would do like an art project in school, they would tape it to the door on the outside of the door so that people that were walking in the hallway could see like his art from school. And, my grandmother walking to her apartment would walk by his door and she would see his art.
Aww,
and I'm sure,
that's so
she would
cool.
see it
Yes.
or see him when he would go home or whatever. And she would talk to him. And I still remember as a little kid, one day my grandmother was like, I have a friend for you.
Aww.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes.
She's like, I have a friend for you. And
Who is this again?
Juan Carlos.
Juan Carlos.
Yep. And then when I showed up the next time, she's like, oh, I was like, Grandma, like the friend that you were going to introduce me to or whatever, or you said you had a friend. And she took me a couple doors down and knocked on his door. And she's like, this is Juan. And we just kind of blinked at each other for a couple minutes. And then, we would just started hanging out.
And how old
was
were you?
I'm thinking like 5 or 6. Yeah.
That's so awesome.
And then, so Juan was on the 5th floor with my grandmother. We had Francisco and Rock up on the 6th floor. And we had Peter, Robert, Muhammad on the 2nd floor. We had friends all throughout the building. So whenever, like as a kid, you go to your friends' houses and knock on the doors. Well, we would just ride the elevator up, go knock on his house, ride the elevator down, knock on their house. And then all of us
so cool.
All of us would meet up down in the lobby and figure out like if we're going to play manhunt or play tag or go to the park or do something.
Right.
And, or we just run down to the 1st floor or down outside the building and just start yelling at all the windows in the apartment building and be like, hey, come downstairs. And they would come down and we all hang out. So yeah, I mean, it's friends that I've had for over 30 years, 35 years.
And how long has it been since you've seen them?
Man. Well, there's a couple of them. The last time I saw them, we saw them.
Right. Joey was a baby.
Joey was a baby. So
Yes,
he was
a pink baby.
That was maybe 10 years ago.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then the other ones I probably haven't seen since I left New York in like 98, 99. 99,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
Yeah, freaking crazy. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep, I'm excited too. You're gonna be wearing a suit.
Yeah, you like it when I get dressed
I
up.
do. That's how I met you, man.
True.
Shoot. Yeah,
Like
you
business
walked
meetings
into
and
a
all?
business meeting wearing a suit. False advertisement, let me tell you.
Yep. Then I became a mechanic after that. All dirty all the time.
But yeah, that's so funny. I would try to get him to wear suits. I loved it. It's like, you know how some women go crazy over uniforms. I'm like a sucker for a man in a suit. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be fun. Dude, I don't wear that kind of stuff ever really
I
anymore.
know, I'm excited. I got excited when I saw you trying it on. I'm like, what? Not
You know what's crazy though? I have like maybe 4 or 5 suits.
Uh-huh.
I have one that fits.
Right. And that's the suit that you wore for our niece's wedding.
And it's not that it fits because it's a big suit. It
No.
fits because it's a small suit, and all the other suits are freaking huge.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm glad you have one that fits.
Yeah. So yeah, with Joey and Audrey, like, man, I'm grateful for the progress that they've made.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you were just talking about Joey, and I know recently we've talked about him making some progress, but it really does seem like he's like starting to hit his stride.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he
Smart
gets
kid.
home now.
Yeah.
It was always a battle, like to get him to do the things that he needs to do.
So much energy and so much frustration.
But after years,
Mhm.
I mean, he's in 6th grade now, so pretty much since kindergarten, years of just being on top of him and like, hey, did you do this? Hey, go read. Hey, like just nonstop.
Yeah.
He's finally like, he comes home.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing he does is get his books out. Like usually before we would be like, dude, you just came from school, take a break.
Right.
But now we don't even have to say anything because he gets home from school and he's like, I want to get my stuff done.
Yes. It feels so good.
You know?
Yes.
And then I come home and, you know, I'm setting up to record and everything. And we have Audrey sitting on the couch and she's just belting out a song.
Yes.
And recently I was thinking about a story that my dad would tell me. And I don't know if he told it on the Fighting Podcast, but my dad, when he was young, he used to teach karate at a college in New York. And there was a guy that went to that college that my dad taught karate to.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Morgan Carey. And that's Mariah Carey's older brother.
Mm.
And my dad said that he told me, and I remember this from when I was a kid. He told me that the guy told him that my dad said that whenever he would go to their house to go pick up Morgan or whatever for them to hang out, Mariah Carey was a little girl and would be like just singing everywhere throughout the house. Like singing so much that it's like almost annoying.
Yeah.
You know what and you know what? And that's a perfect example of people that become successful.
Mm-hmm.
There is, we've said it on here before. There is nobody that becomes successful that is not obsessed with what they do. You don't become successful by just kind of lollygagging about this shit.
Right.
You have to be singing all over your damn house. Like, yes, you sing beautifully, but you drive your fucking parents crazy because all you're doing is singing non-fucking stop.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. And it's funny because we go through that, right? Like, I just want silence. Like, there's times where you're thinking that. And then here she comes singing high, right?
Oh.
Like, just, and I'm like, yes. And that is when I have to go in and breathe.
And you start meditating.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just because I don't want to take that from her.
Right. You know,
Yeah.
you could be, hey, that's enough.
Right.
Like, dude, and I've had those thoughts. Shit, you know me. I've had, like, after a day where you're frustrated.
Yes. And it's just
and-
nothing but noise.
And it's just like, oh, she decides I'm going to start practicing right now. Right.
Right.
And it could be like, hey, go to your freaking room and practice
Right.
it. But I don't want to be like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Don't want to take that from him. Yeah.
And this is part of the story.
Right. Yeah,
You
this
know?
is part of the story.
We got another one singing outside the door here. I don't know if you guys can hear the cat outside freaking
We're
screaming.
loved.
screaming to get
we
in.
are so loved.
All the animals are out on the other side of that door.
We are so loved.
Maybe that's how
It's
Noah did
hilarious.
it. Maybe he was an animal person. He
Right?
just got two of everything. He's like, oh, they fucking love me. Come on, let's go.
Right. That's funny you say that. I just thought of something. So Kayla, our oldest daughter, was here. And we went to my mom's house. We went to visit my mom, and it was late. Like, we just got back from Flagstaff, from Sedona, and we hadn't yet had dinner. And my mom goes to bed. They have dinner very early, and they go to bed early. But we were picking up our nephew, Randy, who's with us. And we get there, and my mom's in, her bedroom. They were laying down. And we go in just giving hugs, and we wanted to stay a little bit to visit, but I didn't want to overstay because I know they get up really early. So, while I'm hanging out with her, she's like, have you had dinner? And Audrey's in there with me. And well, even before this, when we were walking out, Kayla, our daughter, was like, oh, I hope Nana has dinner. I love her food. Yeah. And I'm like, it's late right now. And they have dinner pretty early, so probably not. And she's like, oh, right. Anyways, we walk in and they're laying down, and we're talking, and my mom asked that question. And
do you guys want anything?
And Audrey, and Audrey's like, yes. And I'm like, no, Mom, it's okay. She's like, She's like, I have all kinds of leftovers on the table. I left for you guys. So no, come on, let's go. And like, she gets up.
And starts putting dinner together again.
Like, she's always that way, like
they had already made dinner.
Yeah, cleaned up and everything. And there was no sign of this is an inconvenience. This is a sign of let me do this for you.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm so grateful for my mom. When I walk into her place, I feel at home. And we would never go hungry. Like, my mom's not rich, she's, if she was, we all would be that.
Right.
And she loves just to feed us, to be there. And I'm so grateful for her. I'm so grateful, for her, and for Alex.
Me too.
And we had tortillas. Like, I'm like, no. I'm like, no, we're fine. Because they took out the little grill and started, making the tortillas or warming them up. And then he took out, Alex made a blueberry cobbler pie, got that out, and just, we sat there and laughed and ate. And I'm just so grateful for that.
Yeah.
And Kayla was very thankful.
She was.
Because her Nana pulled out everything and just started. And it was already on the table. When we went into the kitchen, she was right. She didn't, and it was still warm. Like, it was still warm, but of course, warm's not good enough. Let me heat this up for you.
Yeah.
Took
care of us.
And that's how I feel with you.
What do you mean? Like, I am that way?
I am that way. And there's times where, you spoil me, where you don't allow me to do certain things. And it's like, and it's okay. Like, before we started, I asked you, like, what would you like to drink? Whatever. I'm like, would you like some coconut water? I'm just giving you an example so you understand.
I know.
Right?
I didn't think of it at the time. I was thinking I don't want coconut water. So I was like, no.
And that's okay. I'm just trying to get you to understand why I would have got that for you as well.
But I didn't think about it till after.
Got it. Okay. But that's how I am with you.
Yeah.
Right? I like doing those things for you. Preparing your lunch or whatever it may be.
And I appreciate that, babe.
Yeah.
And
But I
appreciate
see
you.
that, like, you know, with my mom, because there's times where I'm like, I don't want to be an inconvenience, or I don't want you to have to go out of your way, kind of like that night to warm up the food. But then right there and then my awareness kicked in. And it was like, no, this is what she wants to do. Allow her, because she would like to do more, but financially, right? Like there's times where she can't do more. So allow her to do what she can do for us.
That is that part of like the not allowing people to help you? Like, does that come from the same type of thing? You know, because there is a lot of people, I feel that way a lot. Like when somebody gives me something, or like, I don't know. I can't think of a specific situation, but we've all had something, like somebody gets something and maybe you mention, oh, that's pretty cool or whatever. And like, oh, well, here, have it. And you're like,
Right.
no. I don't.
Yes.
But they want to give it to you.
Yes.
And you're almost taking that from them
Exactly.
by not accepting, by being humble or whatever. You're not allowing them
Yeah.
to have their, like, that is what they want. They want
Don't
to
block
serve
their
you.
blessing.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
It's like in India. In India, we are at this beautiful hotel, and we go to a restaurant, and one of the waitresses, I like watches, and I see her watch and I compliment her watch, right? And I'm like, what, you know, I like your watch. It's a beautiful watch. And she's like, oh, and she looks and she's like, she takes it off.
Yeah.
And she gives it to me. And I'm like, no. I just was complimenting you. And she's like, no, I want you to have it. And
Is that the one you sold on eBay?
shut up. and I was like, yes, like I thanked her. And she
Yeah.
was so happy to give that to me.
Yeah. Dang,
It's
nobody
like-
gives me watches.
It's like when
I mean, except for you.
Sandra. So Sandra is 70. She was 76 years old. She passed a few months ago. I met her at church. And she helped me. She was a psychologist, and she was the beginning, or not the beginning, because I was already processing and healing, but she
was
took
one of
me
the
on
first.
that. Yeah, like her helping me.
Was she the one that told you about like the picture of yourself as a kid to look
Yes.
at it and all that kind of stuff? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I saw this beautiful woman, and I knew that she was supposed to be in my life. It's like that God nudge. I knew that. And she knew that for her as well. She knew that we were to be together. It's funny because I love older people. I was talking to Bill Soroka about this. Like,
Yeah.
I just love learning from them and just being in their presence. And so she started helping me with the healing process of my past trauma and pain. And she didn't have any family here. And so I would pick her up, and I would take her to get her nails done. And I would take her grocery shopping. And I remember the first time I took her grocery shopping, she's so cute, because we take so much for granted.
Yeah.
We take so much for granted. They have difficulties with just signing their name
As you get older.
as you get older. Grocery shopping is a chore for them. So she made a list. She made 2 lists. She gave me a list.
And she took a list.
She took a list. And she's like, okay. She's like, this is teamwork. She's like, here's your list. She's like, we will meet at the end. And that's what we did. Right.
Yeah.
And I decided beforehand that I was going to pay for her groceries, that we were going to pay for her groceries.
Yeah.
So once the cashier was done ringing up, I gave her my card, and Sandra looked at me and she's like, oh, no, you're not. And I said, oh, yes, I am. She's like, oh, no, you're not. And I look at her and I said, do not block my blessing. And immediately she smiled at me and she said, okay. She
Yeah.
said, thank you.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Sometimes we have to humble ourselves in order to receive the gift.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't remember when that came up for me, but it was probably been within the last few years, because I've always been that way. Like when somebody wants to do something, it's like, no, it's okay. Like, I'm good. I got it. Yeah, I don't need that.
Yes.
Here's my shirt. Here's my whatever. Like, no, I'm good. Like, that's not, I can go buy one or like whatever.
Right.
Nope. But I do that. You know, like I want to give people stuff. I want to, like, here, have this, you know, like,
right.
And then if somebody says no, like I feel good giving it to them, you know, and I'm taking that from them.
Yeah. It's good because you're becoming aware of that.
Yeah. I have a good example. Well, not so much about that, but actually one of our friends that we were talking about earlier, is building a business, and he was saying like one of the things that he's noticed is that he's not very good at asking for help.
Yes.
And actually I need to share this story with him, because the one thing that I do remember, like I'm still that, I don't think I'm much different, because I still don't ask for much help. And maybe it's a guy thing. I don't know. It's like being self-sufficient. Mm-hmm. But in the old house, when we were moving out of the old house, moving into this house, and we were getting the old house ready, we're going to rent that house out. And in the backyard, we had an old hot tub where the kids were born. And it was like, well, if we're renting this house out and we have the hot tub back there, that's more of a liability. Right. And we have to maintain that thing and all that shit.
Yes,
How about let's just get rid of the hot tub and we don't have to worry about that. So at that time, we didn't have all the money in the world. So we're not paying somebody to come and remove the hot tub. So I'm just like cutting cables and, you know, breaking this thing apart. And this is like a 5-6 person hot tub.
Yeah.
And it's one of those big fiberglass ones above ground. And instead of asking for fucking help from one of the neighbors to pull this thing out of the backyard, because I had to put it in the front for like the large item pickup type thing, I drug that thing through the backyard around the side of the house by myself. And we have a gate, which is not an RV gate. If it was an RV gate, you could just open the 2 doors and then drag it out to the street. This is the single door side gate where the hot tub is not going to fit through there.
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking got underneath the hot tub, lifted it up and threw it over the wall, and then drug it out the rest of the way to the street. I probably could have used some help. Right. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Probably not that's how you blow your fucking back out.
Right.
If I did that, there's no way I'd be doing that shit today. Absolutely fucking none. You would catch me bent over back there like, what the hell happened? I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We were watching some videos that you found on our computer of us.
Yeah.
When Joey wasn't born yet. We had our 2 nephews, our niece, and our baby girl. And as I was watching those videos, I was full of gratitude.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have a dry. Like I was just, tearing up, seeing and remembering and seeing their smiles and what we did to create that safety net for them. And they had no idea what we were going through. Even though we were going through some things, the kids knew nothing about the struggle, the inner struggle that we were going through and the struggles that we were going through as a couple.
Yeah.
They never knew.
And I'm still grateful for those times.
Right.
Because
we wouldn't be who we are today without them.
Especially now looking back, like we said on the last episode too, is like when that is another thing to remember, that the things that you're not grateful for today, eventually you look back at those things and you become grateful for them. So maybe we should try to find a way to be grateful for those in the moment and not be so or let it affect us so much, because in the end it all fucking turns into good memories.
Yeah. Well, these days, I know my struggles. And I am grateful for the struggle. Because of the awareness I have, I don't try to run from it, but run to it. Like, why am I having such a difficult time with this? What do I need to learn? What do I need to let go? What is no longer serving me? What am I holding on to? Why am I having such a difficult time doing this? Who do I need to become in order to learn from this?
Yeah.
You know, like with the business, the coaching business, it's new, and I'm trying, just, okay, what is it that I need to do in order to bring in more clients? And it's funny because at first I'm looking at social media and I'm doing it, and then I hear, no, that's not what's going, it's like, it's okay, but that's not it.
Right.
Go do what you love to do.
Go talk to people.
Go talk to people.
Yeah.
Go reach out to your friends who know you, trust you, and like you, because they all want to help you.
Yeah.
And go meet new ones.
And even though the business may not be where you want it to be, you can be grateful that you have this gift.
Yes.
That you have friends that support you, that you have an opportunity to build a gigantic business helping people.
Yes. And I see it and I feel it and I know my gifts. I know I am great at this. I am good at this. And this is what I'm here to do. And I know that without a doubt.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when I start to expand and I start to see things for what they are, and I start to see me for who I am, left and right, I told you. Like, my phone is ringing. Like, I'm receiving text messages like, hey, I have 2 people I'm sending your way.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And things start to unfold. Yeah.
Yep. And one other thing for us to be grateful for is our listeners.
Yes.
And our audience, the people that have followed us. I mean, we're going on this thing for going on 4 years.
I know.
Going on 5 years? What the fuck?
Are you sure?
We started in 2019. It's about to be 2024. 4 years, going on 5.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So yeah, we're definitely grateful for you guys. For those of you that have started with us from the very beginning, those that have joined us along the way, those that are new to joining the podcast, we appreciate all of you guys, and we're grateful that you guys are following us along on the journey.
Yes.
And the goal of this podcast has always been, like, it was never like, oh, this is a marriage parenting show or whatever. This was like, we are doing the best that we can at this thing, at life, at parenting, at our marriage, at growing businesses, at just trying to live the life that we feel that most people want to. Like, people want to live life by their terms, by their rules, and that's what we want to do. We want to build something where we're our own boss. We can do what we want with who we want, with enough money to do the things that we want to do.
And all we're here is to share what we've learned.
And if we can show people along the way, then that's even better. We're definitely happy and grateful to have you guys along for the ride.
Yes. Thank you guys for your love. Thank you for your support. And thank you for watching Opposites Attract podcast.
Where we get better
together.
Bye.